All right. I got to discuss this. And look how my face is on the screen right now. Oh, it's gone now. Now it's Dame Dash. So basically, there's been a lot going on with this whole situation. Moneybagg Yo, Meg Stallion. I'm going to break it down for you to the best of my ability, but the first thing I have to ask is that you click the link below and go to the No Jumper Facebook and click like, because we're really trying to get something going on there. Okay, and also a like, a comment, subscribe on here. That's always good. You might have noticed that we hit 1 million subs. Appreciate y'all. Anyway, let's talk about it. So last night, Megan Thee Stallion went on the AMAs and she dropped a freestyle where she basically made it sound like she's broken up with Moneybagg Yo. But we're going to talk about it because the other day, the end of last week, I had Moneybagg Yo on the show, and I sort of confided some of this in a vlog. If you guys want to go and watch the KSI vlog that I dropped on this channel, I show myself interviewing Moneybagg Yo, and what happened before the Moneybagg Yo interview is that actually his manager came right up to me, and his manager said, "Hey, can we ask you a favor? Please don't ask anything about relationships in the interview." And I'm just like, oh my God. Like, if you guys could see my list of questions, the whole interview that I was going to try to do with Moneybagg Yo is I was going to try to get him to talk about his upbringing, his childhood, who he signed to, all this stuff that he's already talked about 1 million times, granted. But I was going to try to get him to talk about all that stuff and then ease into what it's like to be in a relationship, blah, 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 and basically, you know, figure out if he was still in a relationship at that point. Because when I did that Moneybagg Yo interview, it was literally like a day or two after the video came out of Megan Thee Stallion dancing all over Trey Songz in the club because he ain't got nothing to do, so he just goes around and hangs out with Megan Thee Stallion in the club, apparently. Now, my opinion on that video, for the record, this is my opinion on that video. That video was all kinds of bad if she has a boyfriend. Now, when I first heard about the video, I assumed that it probably wasn't that bad because the media tends to make stuff like that seem a lot worse than it is. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure if there was a video of Lena even standing next to another guy in the club, that people would probably try to, you know, say, oh, look, she was clearly trying to hook up with this guy, whatever. That's just what the media does. But then I actually saw the video, and when I saw the video, I said, oh, hell no, that is not a woman who has a boyfriend, or at least not how a woman who has a boyfriend who is a respected guy like Moneybagg Yo should be acting. I feel like I could probably assume how Moneybagg Yo felt about that video, and I'm going to assume that he was not happy. So I didn't ask him about that at all in an interview because I was scared. But when there was a few things that sort of made it seem as if things were not good. Number one, he kept talking about the All That challenge. All That is a song that him and Megan Thee Stallion have. And he was talking about the challenge or whatever, and he never once mentioned that it's a song that he has with her. He just kept calling it All That challenge. Now, you would think that if you're Moneybagg Yo and you have a poppin' song with the girl that you're dating, that you would probably want to mention that she's on the song. He didn't mention it. Then we start talking about the album and what's going to be on the album. He's listing off all the different features on the album. Doesn't mention Meg at all. So that, again, is making me think, like, oh, geez, that's weird. He just put out a collab with her, and now he's not going to mention that she's on the collab, and he's going to talk about his album and not mention her. So to me, it seemed like a probable thing that they were broken up and they just hadn't got around to how they were going to sort of reveal that publicly, understandably, because, you know, that kind of thing, it's complicated. But anyway, then last night comes out, she does this freestyle, and the freestyle was nice. She was killing it. But she basically declared that she's single. Single, for those who are outside of America, single means that she does not have a boyfriend. So they don't actually have the full lyrics right here, and I'm not going to play it because I don't want to go to jail. But Meg revealed in the freestyle that she is not into kissing and telling, okay, before officially announcing that she and her ex-boyfriend are through. Bitch, I'm 24 and single. Ain't no ring on my finger. Ooh. So, I mean, come on. There's no possible way for you to hear that and think that she's still with Moneybagg Yo, right? Because as much as rappers be rapping and sometimes people be saying things that aren't entirely true on songs, it's like if you're Megan Thee Stallion, you've had the last week or two that she has had, you do not put out a song like that and say that you're single unless you're really single, okay? Now, that's just super obvious. The question is, how does Moneybagg feel about this? Well, headed on over to his Instagram, headed on over to Twitter. Didn't really see a ton of stuff. I will throw this out there. Look right here. Where is it? Want to go to the movies? Want to go to the movies? I mean, I'm going to assume if you're Moneybagg Yo, who are you taking to the movies? A woman, right? Like maybe not Meg. Like if it was Meg, then maybe you would have said her name or something. So there's a few like sort of cryptic tweets, you know, like this, like the laughing emojis and then SMH. Sort of odd. But I mean, he's not retweeting anything that is specifically anti-Megan or anything like that. So, you know, he's not putting out an image that he's super obsessed or upset about her or anything like that. But today he did drop this tweet as well. Gotta keep it cool when them cameras on me. So my read on the situation is that at least when I did the interview, he was not happy with her. Now, part of the question for me, the question is, was he not saying anything because he's under an NDA? And I know that you might be thinking like, wow, Moneybagg Yo, he's a celebrity too. He's under an NDA. I don't know, man. Megan is a pretty massive star. If I were her, I might take the precaution of having a boyfriend of mine sign an NDA so that he couldn't just like go out and talk about it. Now, I don't know that Moneybagg Yo is the kind of guy who would even think about doing something like that. But I mean, the thing is, and this is why it annoyed me so much when I was doing the interview and they told me I couldn't ask about the shit that everybody wants to know about, is just because at some point he's going to do another interview and he's going to clear the air and he's going to talk about it, you know? But the problem with that is that they might not even actually be broken up, although I myself am very, very skeptical about that because this article just came out while I was actually making this video. I actually had to restart making the video because I noticed that this interview or this article came out an hour and a half ago titled, Moneybagg Yo speaks on Megan Thee Stallion relationship, we good. Now, that's really interesting because, I mean, it doesn't sound like they asked him directly about the Trey Songz video, which is, to me, that's the entire thing. But I don't know if this interview happened after my interview or if it happened before it. So it's Hot 97, so it must have been in New York. If anybody knows what Moneybagg Yo's travel itinerary looked like, then that would be helpful because if he was in LA and then New York, this might have happened afterwards. But regardless, that freestyle that Meg dropped where she said that she was single, I mean, that came out last night and was, I believe, recorded last night since it seems to have been recorded at an award show. And also, I mean, people bitch a lot about how hip-hop these days is all gossipy and, you know, nobody really does any rapping. I mean, I can appreciate Meg Thee Stallion breaking up with her rapper boyfriend through rapping, like publicly at least, if that's really what happened. But anyway, look at the quote. In a recent interview with Nessa, Moneybagg Yo appeared to deny that the two have split. When asked whether they're still together or not together, he simply replied, "We good. Everything good." He added, "You gotta like stay away from the media. Like you can't believe everything in the media. You just gotta stay away from that." He later mentioned that he and Megan have more songs in the cut, although he's unclear of when they'll drop. Although he seemed a bit reluctant to elaborate on the relationship any further, he did say that they make time for date nights despite their busy schedule. Now, I'm really not sure, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say that this might be an example of something that people in the media do sometimes where they have an interview and then they drop that interview at a time in which the title will mislead the people into thinking that things are different than they actually are, but then when you actually watch the interview and you realize it's older and it doesn't actually reflect on the situation because, okay, maybe Moneybagg Yo did say this after the No Jumper interview or even a little bit before it. Maybe they agreed to talk about the relationship with them and he didn't want to talk about it with me. Fine, that's cool. But he definitely did not see her freestyle last night when he made this statement. Because if he had, then he definitely would probably have had a different conversation to be had. Or at the very least, the interviewer would have asked him different questions. Because, I mean, come on, she said she's 24 and single. How are you supposed to take that? I don't know how you take that any way besides her just saying she's single. So, you know, good for her. I mean, I kind of sympathize with the situation. Because it's like, if you're Moneybagg Yo, how are you going to date a normal girl? You know? How are you going to just be in a regular relationship when you're running around the world and you're a star? Dating somebody like Megan has to seem very, very attractive. And if you're in Megan's position, I mean, let's be real. She's had her whole entire life thrown up into the air, crazy stuff going on constantly. That's just sort of the nature of being a superstar, and she probably wanted that her entire life, and now all of a sudden she's got it. From her perspective, it's like if you meet a guy like Moneybagg who seems like a really solid dude on the up and up, he's a really good guy who probably really cares about you. He's probably pretty respectful, I would assume. It was probably very, very tempting for her to try to, go and be in a serious relationship. And, it's also understandable that it didn't work out because, I mean, if you're Megan Thee Stallion and you just all of a sudden have Trey Songz hanging out at all your shows, then, you might want to fill up on Trey Songz. Who knows, though? They might still be together. We really don't know. But my main question still remains, how can Moneybagg Yo stay in character as Moneybagg Yo and not at some point acknowledge that he was upset about the Trey Songz video? You let me know in the comments if you agree with me. Everybody, again, please like, comment, subscribe. The No Jumper Facebook link is in the description if you guys want to get involved. I appreciate y'all. Much love. NoJumper.com. Happy holidays. Blah!